G'day mates, welcome to another episode of Antics with Aussie, where I keep you up to date with everything going on in competitive Fortnite. And today is a big video. We had a potential leak this morning from Fortnite themselves, which showed that we are getting World Cup duos and arena box fights. This was a post that was on their official website that showed these as game modes. So I'm going to get to the bottom of exactly what that means. Is it real? What does it mean going forward? Because we've since had an Epic employee come out and make an official statement that I haven't really seen anyone talking about. I also had to talk about an issue we're having with the new region lock rule that is causing pros to be super pissed off, as today they weren't able to queue up for solo cash cups even when they didn't do anything wrong. So today is going to be an insane video, but before I jump into it, I have to make a big announcement for my channel. I've actually partnered up with Prestige Top 10. I'm now making content over on their brand new YouTube channel. The link will be in the description down below, where I'm highlighting all the best 10 players in Fortnite, top 10 pro plays, top 10 trick shots. It's so much fun. Please make sure you check out that content. But all right, let's jump into it. Are we getting another World Cup? Okay, so let's talk about it. Why does everyone think that we're getting World Cup duos and arena box fights? Well, this is because we had not even what's really a leak. This was actually posted on Fortnite's official front page. This was on their website. This wasn't like someone just went onto Twitter and changed their name to Fortnite Game and tried to post something, or they just photoshopped something together. This is something that Fortnite actually posted. And what it looked like was it was a developer's perspective of what the lobby screen looks like with arena box fights as a game mode and duos World Cup. So everyone freaked out. You had TSM Ops tweet this, which as you can see got so much traction. Everyone was freaking out. Since then though, we have had Epic Games come out and make a statement about exactly what this means, and saying that it does not mean we are getting another World Cup, and it does not mean we're getting arena box fights. This was just a developer's perspective, and they just use these as different placeholders. It's not game modes they're trialing. It's not something they're looking at. They just have them added. But I want to actually break that down a step further and really look at it, because we've never had arena box fights in the game. So why would they have this as a placeholder? So the official response we got was actually on the Fortnite competitive Reddit, where we had G Staff Epic respond saying, "You nailed it on the placeholder part. With the BTS announcement today, we wanted to have an article that helped new players find their way into Party Royale. This blog was incorrectly published with images from a dev build that showed test playlist images of Fortnite World Cup and Box Fight Arena. To properly set expectations, these images are not a hint of events to come. Instead, they are old assets and test playlists with placeholder names that have existed in some form on our back end for some time. All official announcements will come directly from Fortnite Competitive." But I want to talk about this. So they're saying that these were placeholders, which makes sense. World Cup duos was a game mode in the past, but what about arena box fights? They said that this is something that has been in the game in some form or another, but it hasn't. We had a box fight kind of tournament, I guess you could say. Maybe that's what it was, but I don't know. That just doesn't sit right with me. I'm not going to try and say this is a World Cup announcement, but when it first came out, it sure as hell looked like it. But arena box fighting, I have to think that that is something that Epic has talked about. We as a community have asked for. People have asked for a ranked creative mode like Zone Wars, things like that. I have to think this is more than just an accidental. These are just happen to be the game modes that were in there. But I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think that this is actually a valid reason to assume we might get World Cup duos, or we might get arena box fights, or do you take that response? Either way, what made me really happy about this was we did get an official response from an Epic employee to the community on Reddit, which is a huge sign. With all these loophole changes, everything I've been talking about, it's like the Fortnite competitive staff are listening again. They're responding and they're getting more involved with the community. So what was a super exciting leak, or I guess just accident, isn't maybe as exciting, but I'm not fully buying that response. But again, we have to talk about an issue that we are having though with the region locking rule change to Fortnite. So right now on Twitter, we have a few NA West pros who are reaching out saying that they aren't able to currently play in the solo cash cup because it still says that it's region locked. I made a video about this recently. In this season, Fortnite has now said that all cash cups are going to be region locked per week. So the issue seems to be that I've reached out to 40R Storm and Punisher. They both said that they played in cash cups last week, but now is an entirely new week. So by the official rules, they should be allowed to play in these tournaments. So I'm not really sure what's going on here, but it's just, again, another issue with competitive right now where players just can't play tournaments. The tournaments are glitching. Something's going wrong. So I guess to avoid this, it's safe to say just don't play any other tournaments than the ones in your regions going forward. Maybe don't just try and play them on a different region for 1 week and then the next week play a different one. Even though the rules said you should, 40R Storm is someone who actually had a good chance of winning this Cash Cup and now just has to sit it out. And I doubt he's going to want to then just go and play. Wait, NA West is the last tournament of the week anyway for this game mode. So he can't even play it at all this week now. So another issue that needs to be fixed up, where some pro players are unfortunately getting disadvantaged. And it's just, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate to see. I don't want to keep harping on the negative, but right now we are seeing some big issues with competitive mode just not working as it should. But I want to finish on a bit more of a positive note. Let's look at what was a phenomenal tournament this morning and have a look at some of the highlights and best moments that you missed from the Ninja Battles tourney. I just want to finish off doing a bit of a recap for Ninja Battles, as even though it's an $80,000 tournament, so many people just forgot it was on or just haven't been talking about it as much. Obviously, Ninja jumping around between platforms, probably not finding a home to stream on, meant that this got delayed until now. But it was such a good tournament. But it was really interesting to look at it coming into Trios FNCS this weekend, about how inconsistent some teams are, or how consistent other teams are, and what is leading to that consistency. So we had newly formed teams like Avery, Arkram, and Skittles, who I believe have never really played before, with an NA West player, the only NA West player in the tournament, managing to win, while there was teams of fully formed trios like Jampa, Booger, and Chap, who have been playing together, who had uncontested Stark, who almost came last. So it was a crazy tournament to see some of the really new teams that aren't going to be permanent teams going forward. They were just together for this Ninja tournament, managed to win over teams that at the start of the tournament you had to think they were going to absolutely pop off. We also had Benji, Fishy, Leshy, and Savage trying to represent EU, the only EU team there, unfortunately not having the best tournament. They didn't even make it off spawn once as a full trio. They were contesting Doom's Domain, and they were contesting Zate, Saf, and Unknown. Obviously Zate and Saf having Unknown fill in for them, as Stretch was invited to play as well, so he had to make his own team. And yeah, they got a bit unlucky. Doom spawning in the vault, not in the house, all 5 games in a row, which is not where Benji in that drop, was a massive disadvantage. But unfortunately for them, they didn't have the best tournament. I already talked about Chap's team, but also we saw Clicks, Nosh, and Zypher have a pretty good tournament, but not the best. But it was just a real mixed bag. It's only a 60-player lobby, so it's not the same as a full FNCS. So that even with the 100% chest spawn nerf now and less people, there was still some teams really struggling to find a footing in the current format. Rogue Shark, Knight, and AV, a team that started this season so hot, are now looking like they're really struggling, and I have to think it was due to the boat fishing nerf. So coming into FNCS this weekend, I don't even know what to look for, but it was such a good tournament. It was so much fun to watch, and with Caddy Launcher being out of the game right now, with the Dooms Mythics being nerfed quite a lot, I'm really enjoying how the meta's playing out, with pretty much anyone being able to take high ground again, like Fortnite used to be. Pretty much if you have shockwaves coming in endgame now, the tactic seems to be just go aggro for height. I think Arkram's aggressiveness and wanting to take high ground, like he does with Epic Whale and Rex, was actually one of the reasons his team came out so well today. So I just wanted to highlight, give you a bit of a recap that went on with Ninja Battles. I'm not going to do a whole video on it. It was a fun tournament, but again, it's only 20 teams. It's 60 players. So I don't know how much you want to take from it, exactly what happened. All right, guys, that does it for another video. Before I end, before you go, again, I just want to throw some clips in here of some of the work that I'm doing over on Prestige Top 10. I mentioned at the start of the video, but please go check out the channel. It's so much fun making content for them, and I think it's content that honestly YouTube Fortnite right now is missing. Just some awesome players. I do my best to make them exciting, so make sure you go check them out. This is just a taste of what you're missing out on. Thanks again for watching the video, guys. I appreciate it so much. Chuck a like on it if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Number 2. It's going to be tough to close this one out. Let's see what was so special to take out our number 2 spot tonight. Furious in duos playing with Cease. This is recently the Aqua Nyrox Throwback Cup. There's 4 players alive. He's looking in a pretty good spot right now. Only has 3 builds though. Shockwave comes out. He's out in Storm. Anyone would think this is over, but nah. This is Furious. 240 headshot snipe. Then knocks the player down. Shots underneath. Anonymous mode. But let's see. Who was that? Dubs and Mega. Furious in Storm just took down Dubs and Mega. He's down to 50 health. 40 health. 30 health. Can he go up? 162 pump shot. The moment you've all been waiting for, number 1, and it's got to close out with none other than the number 1 himself, the World Cup solo champion Booger, but it's in trios. And you might be thinking, hey, why is the number 1 clip of the week starting off with Booger getting knocked in Storm in trios? It's moving zones. But no, Chap and Avery, being the teammates we all wish we had, managing to not let him go, carrying him and throwing him through the low ground in a moving zone with 23 players alive in a trio tournament. They stick the revive. And this is where it starts to break down and just go absolutely insane. Booger gets the chug splashes off. There is still 21 players remaining at this point. He's got 80 health, 25 shield. What can they do now? They've spent all their time reviving Booger. Well, let's see if it was worth it. One charge shotgun's the first one. Gets the second one with the AR now. Has a few more chug splashes. Gets those off as well. He's going to need him. 10 players left alive at this point right now. They're running out of builds, though. They're stuck on a pretty bad layer. The zone's closing out. They can't win the heal off. They have to go up right now. Booger needs to make something here. Booger pushing his way up now. Flicks hits the player. He would have gone down there if he didn't get that a second earlier. Picks up the second opponent now. Jumps down. Hits the crash pad. 30 health. 20 health. Flicks with the 62 charge shotgun shot.